Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast. It's me and Luke this week, and it's not a good week, is it, mate? It's not a good. It's not a good season so far.
Not really, mate. Apologies for those expecting Dave from SDCC. We've had a few technical issues. We hope to get him on next week now, but yeah, just a few technical issues. Apologies to Dave. No, mate, it's not good. It's not good at all. Where do we start, really? Let's just have a little start on the Newcastle game. We've got to touch on it. It's just so poor. It's so poor. Like, you threw a stat at me this morning, mate. Was it Slav's win record or something like that? I can't remember what exactly.
Yeah, let me get up exactly what it was. It was on BT Sports. They were talking about it. Yeah, but I mean, it's just what really annoys me, and they sort of touched on it in this BT Sport interview, is a lot of people now are unhappy with Slav, and a lot of people were saying it's you want to sack your manager after 3 games. It's not about 3 games. It's been going on for a long time now, and it's just getting to the point where it's just hard to just keep ignoring it. I actually can't see it now, but it was something stupid. It was something like we've conceded 47 goals or something in the last 74 goals in the last 43 games. And we've won 3 of our last 17 Premier League games. I mean, that's abysmal. That's shocking. If it was any manager other than Slav, if it was anybody else, we'd be saying he's got to go.
Yeah. I think I agree with it, mate. It's all the comments, like people like Alan Shearer was saying it, Gary Lineker. Oh, it's 3 games. But like, as you say, mate, it's not 3 games. This has been going on for about 20 games, 25 games, I would say. West Ham Fan TV did their post-match pint, actually, and they said they would even take it as far back as the Swansea game of the last year at Upton Park. That's how long it's been going on for.
Well, you think now obviously it's come out that he's been given another 4 games to turn it around. What's that, the 3rd time we've heard that? It's the 3rd time he's been given the next few games to turn it around. How many times is it going to keep happening? It just, and again, yeah. I keep talking about it, but go back to the end of last season, and I was saying constantly, I didn't see how things were going to change this year. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. It's just as bad as we were, if not worse. You know, before we were conceding on average 2 goals a game. Now we're conceding 3. It's got worse.
And with this 4-game thing, mate, it's like, okay, so he goes and wins 2 games, and then is that it again? And we're just constantly, like you say, going through these patterns of, oh, he's got 4 games. He's got 4 games. You know what I mean?
I know. It's just bad. It's just, I don't think it's very good. And it's just everything about us is, I wouldn't mind so much. Yeah, losing the first 3 games is bad, obviously, but I wouldn't mind so much if we looked like we were improving, or if we looked like we were working towards something. But we're not. We just look lost. We don't look like we've got a game plan. The players don't look like they know what they're supposed to be doing. It just looks like, I don't know. A few people have mentioned this, and I completely agree. What is our identity? What style of football is he trying to play? Who is he trying to build a team around? Who's his best team? I mean, we've had a different back 4 every game this season. What's going on? Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree, mate. So someone made a really good point. Again, I can't remember what channel it was. They said about Allardyce again, to bring Allardyce up. He managed to get the defence looking good with some seriously average players. You're talking your Joey O'Briens, I would even put Tompkins in that sort of just above average. And then now he's got world-class defenders in Font, Ogbonna, Winston Reid's an international, Collins is an international. But they don't look like they can defend it.
Mate, that's it. I know. Like, again, that's another thing that's really been annoying me. People keep saying, oh, the ball don't give him the tools. They haven't spent enough money. How much money do you want us to spend? Like you say, I'm not being funny. Font, international for Portugal, just won the Euros. Ogbonna, he's got like 20 caps for Italy. Collins, full international. Joe Hart, England's #1. Cresswell, international. Zabaleta, massively experienced player.
Yeah. Masuaku's an international, I think, as well. I might be wrong.
These are not bad players. They ain't. They are not bad players. And then even you look at the likes of the forward, like Ayew hasn't really done it for West Ham. He's not a bad player, you know. Yeah,
and the thing as well is, like, again, it's another point being made in the media and stuff. It's like, will 2-3 players change anything? Like, okay, we go and get William Carvalho. Yeah, fantastic player. But if Slav don't know how to play him correctly, it doesn't change what's happening in that training and stuff.
Right, 100%,
and the mentality.
100% agree, mate. 100% agree. I don't see how it can. And again, this is exactly what I was saying last season. I don't see how things can change. And then I think the worst thing that happened with regards to all of this was we beat Tottenham, and it glossed over everything massively. And after that, it was getting to the point where I started saying, no, all right, because I'm pretty sure I said last season on this podcast he has to go. And then we beat Tottenham, and obviously everyone was over the moon with that. And then coming into the end of the season, and then when season's finished, you start thinking more positive. You start thinking, no, all right, he had a bad season, but he had a good season first season. Let's give him some time to turn it around. And again, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed.
I think as well, beginning of last year, you give him the benefit of the doubt with the Payet situation, don't you? But since then, it's just not progressed. Even players like Snodgrass, again, not had the best of seasons. Have you seen his interview with Aston Villa? Did you read about that?
I've seen it, yeah.
About being played out of position. He was supposed to be the Payet replacement. Obviously, he's never that good. But again, is it all this like trying to cater to keeping certain players? Again, I am going to jump on Mark Noble bandwagon. Like, he's not good enough, and other fans are starting to say it now. Like, I don't sound so deluded anymore. Like, he's not good enough anymore. He's not.
No,
I'm not saying he's the only one. I don't want me to come across as, oh, I only think Noble's crap. No, everyone nearly in that team is crap at the minute. But he's definitely one of the main reasons. The midfield is non-existent. We have no midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. The midfield is shocking. Like you say, it's non-existent. And again, I don't even think that's that much down to the players. I think it's more down to the players don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't have defined roles. They're not being managed properly, and I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, like with the Declan Rice one as well. I thought that was so harsh. Like, he's made a mistake, the young lad. I will not jump on him because he's a young lad as well. And then you take him off at half time. Is that the end of him for a while now? Like Reece Oxford?
Yeah.
Like, you won't see him there to the end of the season? It's wrong.
It is.
Lanzini made a mistake.
And I mean, I don't know. It's just poor football, poor organisation, poor fitness. Like I say, no game plan. Players don't look like they know what they're doing. It's just, that has to come down to the manager and his coaches. That has to come down to that. You know, people can blame the board and they can slag off the board, and yes, we've done it plenty of times, and the board have done a lot wrong since they've taken over West Ham. But you can't blame them for the disorganisation on the pitch. You can't. That's not their job. That's Slav's job.
Yeah, you can blame them. We can sit here and blame them for last year's transfer window. We can sit here and do that and say, yeah, are we suffering from that? Do you feel we are suffering from that?
We are, but even then, I don't buy that as an excuse. Even if you're of the opinion that this season we haven't done enough, this summer we haven't brought enough players in, we haven't strengthened in the right areas, even if you think that, you cannot tell me the players we've got are not capable of better. You can't. You cannot tell me. Like, how come the likes of Huddersfield, the likes of West Brom, they're all doing all right, and then, you know, you've got West Ham who are struggling with these players? You can't tell me that that's a bad group of players.
No, we've got, well, on paper, a fantastic squad. So, I don't know what's wrong there. It's definitely down to management. For me, I would have sacked him. I'll be honest, and I'll probably get jumped on in the comments, but I would have got rid of him on Saturday. No?
I would have, yeah. I would have. I don't, like I say, I don't see what the point of giving him a few more games is. I don't know how he's going to turn it around. If nothing's changed in the last 20, 25 games, what's going to change now? Like you say, mate, it's just going to be, we might get a win against Huddersfield. Wow, so what? So we beat a team who's never played in the Premier League before, newly promoted. Brilliant, fantastic. Then what? then what happens if we lose the next 3? Do you know what I mean? It just...
No, that's right, mate. And again, it's all going to boil down to this thing again, mate, of the contract. Like, it gets to Christmas, oh, he's not going to get a contract anyway, and then players don't start playing.
Yeah.
Unless it changes. Oh, I don't know, mate. It's very depressing.
Yeah, it is. It's a bad situation, and it's so annoying because we came into this season in such a high, and I
was very positive,
and we made some good signings. Yes, we possibly should have built. Excuse me, we probably should have built on them signings a bit more, but even still, we made some great signings, and everyone was really positive coming into this season. And yeah, I know playing the first few games away doesn't help, but I don't buy that as an excuse. I really don't.
Do you not blame the board for that though? If we're going to sit as like on the fence and sort of blame Slav, is that not a bit of Karen's fault? That
of course, it's absolutely disgusting, and it's a joke. It's a joke that we have to play our first 4 competitive games away from home. It's a joke, but that don't mean that you're going to get smashed 4-0, 3-2, 3-0.
I think it's the manner, isn't it? It is the manner of the defeats.
Like
any other time in the season, we've not got a good record at Newcastle. Man United, we would have lost. Southampton's can go either way sort of game. If it was any other time in the season, I don't know whether we'd be panicking as much.
It's just the fact that we look like we just rolled over. The Southampton
goals is disgusting.
Yeah, Southampton game is an exception because we showed good character to come back into that game, and we lost to a silly penalty at the end of the game. But the Man United game and the Newcastle game, we just gave up. We rolled over and we're just like, oh, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And like you say, mate, 10 goals conceded in 3 games is a joke. It's a joke. 10 goals conceded, 2 goals scored, which were 2 tap-ins from Hernandez. It's a joke.
Yeah. Still, just on the Newcastle game, before we move on, mate, what do you make of the setup in general then? Because I said it in my review about, obviously, Lanzini was fit, Chiatti was fit. Would you have started them and then take them off?
I mean, yeah.
Because I think the starting lineup was where it all went wrong as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they're fit enough to be on the bench, then, I don't know. Because sometimes, it's good to have options to come off the bench, maybe, if they're not quite ready. But then if they're not ready, what are they doing on the bench? I don't know. I don't know. It was a poor...
Okay. Let's not say... I was going to say, let's not say them two then. Okay, so they're just coming back from fitness, benefit of that. What about Obiang then?
Well, yeah.
Like, one mistake at Man United and the geezer don't play no more.
Yeah, that's I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, Obiang should have been playing. Yeah.
So I just don't get it. You're looking there thinking this geezer was probably, I don't know, what, second hammer of the year last year? Obiang? What, and now he can't get in the team because he made one mistake against a fantastic Man United team. Oh, it's just, nah, Slav has to go. I'm sorry. It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Oh, and if I'm looking, like, mate, to review August, like we did sort of last year, disaster. F, grade F.
Yeah, big time. Just, what can you say positive?
We need to be busy Thursday, don't we? Thursday we need to be busy, really busy.
But then, yeah, like we do. But then, what are we gonna do? I honestly think, and I honestly feel like we could go out and sign Messi, and he'd look rubbish in our team. I genuinely believe that. I really do. I don't think signing players now is not the answer. It's not. Something needs to change. If Slav's going to stay manager, then the coaching staff needs to change, or the setup needs to change. Something needs to change behind the scenes, because signing new players isn't going to make any difference.
Well, there's all the rumours from last year about how the training grounds like a nice family atmosphere where they take their dogs and they take their kids. Like, what do you make of that?
I mean, I have to say I haven't heard that, but I mean, if it is, then that's a place of work. They should be going there to work. They should be going there to work hard. It shouldn't be like a little day club for them to go and muck about with their mates. Do you know what I mean? They should be there to train. They should be there to work. What do they do in training? I don't know. I'd love to be able to. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can go to the training sessions these days. I don't know. I don't think you can.
No, you can't, mate. I don't think you can get in there. No.
But it'd be great to go and see what they actually do. What do they do? I don't know. Yeah. Do they actually work on anything during the week? Do they work on a game plan? Do they work on how they're going to approach different opponents? Do they work on targeting certain players? What do they do? Or do they literally just run around a bit?
For me, mate, it seems that they play the same way whether Andy Carroll's playing or not. So they're playing as if Andy Carroll's playing, even if he's not playing. But they can't. Hernandez is not going to bring it down. He's not going to header it. He's not going to hold it up. So they need to start play. And I don't think Slav's tactically good enough to do it.
No. I mean, and again, I did see someone say this, and I think they're exactly right. It's basically what happens is we're trying to play the ball out. So Hart plays the ball out to whoever, Collins. Collins then plays the ball into the midfield, and say you're talking Noble, or you're talking Rice, or you're talking Fernandez, and the ball just keeps going sideways because there's no movement in front of them. That's where Lanzini would really help, to be fair. But there's no movement, so the ball just keeps going sideways between them. They're getting closed down, which is something that we seem incapable of doing. So because they're getting closed down, they pass it back to Collins, and he just kicks it upfield, loses it, and we start all over again.
That's it.
We
and if Antonio don't win the header, then, like you said, it just starts all over again.
We're so slow in transition. We are so slow to do anything. There's no movement from our players at all. And again, that comes down to the coaching. That comes down to what happens on the training ground in the week. You know, that's
and set 11 as well.
Yeah,
like having that set 11 to learn each other's runs and learn each other's movements. Oh, this turned into a nice depressed show, isn't it? Yeah, like you say, mate. You say like we could bring anyone in. Jamie Redknapp said it about bringing Font in. I think it was either Jamie Redknapp or Savage said about bringing in Font in January. Again, you don't just turn into a bad player. And again, it's down to that management. Like you say, I would love Chris Smalling and probably even Jack Wilshere, a late loan deal, to come in. But like you say, if they're not managed right, no one's going to improve this at the minute.
If Smalling came in this window under Slav, he would get absolutely crucified. He would get absolutely crucified because I don't think he'd look great. He'd look just like, you can't tell me that Winston Reid's a bad defender, but he hasn't looked good either. No. You know, like you.
Ogbonna looks really shaky this year.
And if Smalling came in, it'd take one bad game, and the fans would be on his back. Oh, why did we sign him? He's rubbish. Again, he's not a bad player, but it's just I feel like he's quite poisonous at the minute. It's just I just feel like it's just not. It's not a good environment at the minute.
Cut our losses, sort of thing. I think he's just got to cut the ties now.
The big question, obviously, on the other side of that, is if we do get rid of Slav, who comes in?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. There's Mancini's obviously gone there, Galatasaray, so that one ain't going to happen. I would love Benitez. I really would love Benitez, but I think he's got a $3 million buyout. Would you pay it? Would you pay it to get him out?
$3 million's nothing, really, is it? Yeah, I'd pay it. If he wanted to come, and obviously it seems like he pretty much was going to join us before Real Madrid came knocking.
Yeah, which you can't blame him.
But I mean, well, people might say, he plays boring football and he's just like Sam, but his achievements speak for himself. He's won everything in the game. And his Newcastle team completely took us to pieces. So he can't be that bad, do you know what I mean?
No, he's good tactically as well. Very good tactically. A couple of other names spattered about, mate. I just wanted to get your opinion. Alan Pardew.
Do you know what? I would have Pards back, but only on a one-season deal. I'd have Pardew back to the end of the season. I really do think if he came in, you'd get a good bounce back. I think he'd get the players playing. And I reckon he'd actually come in and do well for the season. I don't think I want to see him to stay longer than that.
No, he's very good at like you say, he's very good at coming in, sorting stuff out, and then he just goes, then he really badly declines.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy for him to come in literally just to the end of the season and then look and see who's available then. Yeah, I'd be happy enough with that, but I wouldn't like to see him come in on a long-term deal.
Another name, mate, old Harry. Nah.
Do you know, again, the same thing, but no, because he's been out of the game too long now, I think, and he's,
Well, he's at Birmingham now, isn't he? He's at Birmingham.
How's he doing at Birmingham? I don't even know.
I don't know, mate. I'll be honest with you, I've not followed it, to be honest.
So, I mean, same sort of thing, he would definitely come in and get a reaction. He knows the club. He knows what we're all about. same thing. I wouldn't want him to come back on a long-term deal by any stretch, and I definitely wouldn't want him to be anywhere near any transfers. But you know, he would come in and he'd get the players playing. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. Like you say, it's like, yeah, you get rid of him. Who is there? And you're sort of in that limbo period of, do you go and have no one? I don't know. It's such a tough decision to make. Yeah, no. What do you make as well on them comments, that interview, the Jake Humphreys BT Sport one, about where all the players, Hargreaves, it was Savage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Saying about where West Ham are, and 11th is the best they can sort of hope for anyway.
Well, that's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Obviously.
Yeah, I found it quite harsh.
Yeah, it was very harsh. It's ridiculous as well. It's a stupid statement to make. You know, I'd say realistically, 7th or 8th is the best we can hope for. You know, realistically, any better than that we would have done fantastically well. Yeah, I mean, saying that we can't expect to finish top half is a joke. So you know, it's just nonsense. I've never liked him anyway.
No, like I say, I just didn't like the comment where it was like, "Oh, West Ham fans are unrealistic." It's like, no, we're realistic, but we want to show some ambition. Like that's the difference. Otherwise, we're just sitting still, and it's frustrating.
And that's another thing as well. To be fair to Slav, and people will obviously still defend him. Yeah, we did finish. What did we finish? 11th. We did finish 11th, didn't we, last year? And we finished 8th. Was it 7th? 8th. The year before.
So yeah, 7th or 8th.
Which is good for West Ham. It is good. And I know at the end of the day, Lee would be saying exactly the same thing if Lee was sitting here as well. Lee would be saying, oh, it's a results business. It's where you finish at the end of the season that matters, and it's the points that you got. But it's more than that. It really is. Like,
but Lee also called, mate. It was put on Twitter by someone, and you'll probably remember it yourself, mate. Lee called it about 2 years ago on this channel, saying that Slav has one good year and then declines. And then someone took over at Besiktas, they won the league. So is that sort of his pattern? Because it does happen. Managers do go through a pattern. Yeah,
could well do. Could well be. Yeah. I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, at the end of the day, it looks like he's staying anyway. If we do lose to Huddersfield, especially if we lose badly, which I think we honestly might, I'm obviously coming over for that game. So I hope we do win, but I can.
Well, you look after that game, mate. We've got West Brom, and then I believe Tottenham. I cannot remember the last game of the month. I think there's one more. But what do you think?
You know, well, like I say, if we get turned over by Huddersfield, West Brom's obviously a tough game. And then did you say Tottenham?
Spurs, yeah.
Tottenham, anything could happen.
There's one more. There's one more, I think.
Tottenham, anything could happen. They haven't been great either this year, but I don't see where the next win's coming from. I don't see how we're going to improve. I don't understand how after 2 weeks, are our players suddenly going to look fitter? Are they suddenly going to know what they're supposed to be doing? Are they suddenly going to look like they have a game plan? What is that going to happen in 2 weeks? It hasn't happened in the last 18 months.
They've had pre-season as well, these new players. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's just.
So what's the minimum points total that Slav needs to get? I remember the last game now at Swansea, because I think Lee's back in the country for the Swansea game. So you've got Huddersfield, West Brom, Tottenham, Swansea. 6 points minimum.
Yeah, 6 minimum. So Swansea look terrible at the minute. Obviously, I know Huddersfield are doing well. But again, I said it.
Did all right, Swansea, though, at Big Palace, didn't they?
I said last week, you know, you have to beat the promoted sides. So Huddersfield should be 3 points. Swansea, I'd expect to. I'd say 6 points minimum. Yeah, 6 points minimum. Really, ideally, you'd be looking at 7 points. I don't think.
It's amazing how like your mood has changed from like so positive going into the season. Now it's like, no, it's a relegation battle season, and it really. With West Ham, you can tell that early. You can. So on transfers, mate, who would you like to come in? I know you said like you don't think anyone would improve us in terms of because of Slav's management. But who would you like to see come in, and how many do you think we need?
So, who would I like to see come in? I would like to see. So, assuming they came in and actually played well, I would like to see Smalling come in as a centre back option. Obviously, I'd love to see Carvalho come in for that defensive midfield spot. And then we still need another striker. What happens if Fernandes gets injured? Who's playing?
Oh, they're really weak because Saka looks so unfit.
So I mean, we desperately still need another striker. Who I don't know. I don't know who's out there, who's available.
No, I'll be honest, mate. I wouldn't know who I'd go for actually, striker wise. No. Unless there's a late deal for Michi on loan from Chelsea, someone like that to play with Fernandes would be quite nice. I'll be watching with bated breath, probably till 12 o'clock in the morning, watching to see whether we pull anything off.
And at 11 o'clock now, is it 11?
Oh, is it 11? I'm not sure, mate. I'll have to have a check.
Unless they've checked, I don't know. I don't know, but still.
Yeah.
What do you think about there's been talks of the transfer window closing before the end of the season? Before the season starts. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. You'd still get the same madness in terms of the obviously that last day panicking, but I think it should be start of the season. That's your team. That's how it starts, and there's none of this crap going on like Alexis Sanchez, Ozil. You've got a couple more, haven't you? Oxlade-Chamberlain. You had Dembele, Borussia Dortmund, Neymar. Like, it should be you start the season, that's what you've got till January. Because it just creates so much like crap for teams, and obviously teams can't sell players because like Liverpool, can't sell Coutinho because we might not be able to get this one. Do you know what I mean? What do you think of it?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. I think it's a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, I think I think it messes with the preparation as well for the season. Like you say, now we're a couple of weeks in and still thinking about, what if this one got like this man behind me, Lanzini? There's probably still doubts. What if a late bid come in and things like that? Where when the season starts, I feel like you should be right. That's it now. Let's get down to the football. Let's get down to it.
Yeah. Well, it does. I don't think Coutinho will go now. Obviously, Dembele's signed there now, hasn't he? So it would be a massive, big fee to take him as well. Yeah. Is there a likely event that David Sullivan don't buy no one on Thursday?
Nah. Have we ever? Have we ever done that? Have we ever not signed anybody on deadline day?
No, I'm just thinking like there's been some Januaries where we've done it and not bought anyone. Is there a thing where they might think, do you know what? We've got enough. We don't really back Slav. We're not going to give him any. We're not going to give him no more money. That's
the only thing. Like you say, the possibility of him maybe going, they might think, we'll keep our money in our pockets. We haven't had our random South American loan yet.
No, so that's very true.
That's probably still got to happen at some point. Yeah, I can see us going to the loan market rather than actually buying players, unless a big good deal comes up or someone's available on a free or something. I don't know. We'll see. I definitely think we will be active, though. I really do. I think we'll definitely do. I still think Carvalho will come.
I hope so. Yeah, talking about the man behind you, mate. Rumours are he's left the Argentina squad, picked up an injury. Let's hope it's not a bad one because we've needed him back, and then he's gone and got an injury. Yeah, absolutely. No. Again, maybe that's another issue as well. Another position we need to look at, like that, we haven't really got a like-for-like replacement for Lanzini. Like when Lanzini's injured, we've got no real creativity in the middle. Do we actually not focus too much on that? Lanzini can be quite an injury-prone player as well.
Yeah, he's been out a few times. He can be, yeah. He has had his injury troubles with us.
Yeah, no, like I said, I do like the geezer. I love the geezer, but yeah, like I say, do you think that's where perhaps Jack Wilshere does need to come in? I know he's injury prone as well, but I'm hoping that they sort of like balance each other's injuries out, that they meet in the middle.
Yeah,
I'll be injured this month, you can be injured next month.
Possibly, I don't know. I feel like we need someone like Lanzini, someone like Zarate used to be as well. Someone who's not afraid to run it.
Dynamic.
Yeah, dynamic. Someone who can make things happen. someone who's going to run at defence, someone who's a little bit unpredictable. I think without Lanzini in the team, we don't have that.
No, I agree, mate. I totally agree. I can't think of anything positive to say this week.
It's not. It's really not good, is it? It really ain't. No, I can't either, to be honest. Well.
Let's try and think of one positive to like take. I don't know. Honestly, I cannot think of a positive apart from perhaps say Chiatti and Antonio are back from injury.
Yeah, that's a positive, I suppose. It's only 2 more games and Arnautovic will be back.
Are you glad for the international break, or would it be better to just go bust straight into the Huddersfield game this week?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like again, I've been saying it all show. I don't see our 2 weeks is going to make any difference. I really don't. I don't see how it's going to make any difference. So sorry, that's very depressing.
Yeah. Any other news from you? Obviously, I would like to touch, even though it's a West Ham fan show, I would like to touch on the Conor McGregor fight. It was nice. It was good. It was a shame. I'm a big McGregor fan. I was a bit gutted, but it was always going to go one way.
Yeah, of course. It was a no contest, really. Mayweather knew exactly what he was doing. I said, as soon as it got to the 4th round, I said, McGregor's going to get knocked out. Because he was absolutely gassed. He couldn't...
He's blowing.
Yeah, he was blowing after the 4th round. And I went straight on Bet365. I managed to get evens for Mayweather to win by knockout. I couldn't believe it. Evens. And yeah, obviously it happened. He could have took him out any time he wanted.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he was holding back to knock him out.
He was like, watch the fight. Mayweather was smiling all the way through it. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he knew, like, everyone... I've seen loads of posts now as well about people saying, but... he landed more punches than Pacquiao and this, that and the other. Well, he's 10 years younger than Manny Pacquiao. Mayweather's older. He hasn't fought for 2 years. Plus, he knew that McGregor, after that first couple of rounds, when McGregor tired himself out, he knew he couldn't hurt him. There was nothing in his punches. Nothing.
No, I agree, mate.
So he was just walking forward. But it was good to watch. It was entertaining to watch.
Oh, yeah, no, it was a spectacle, yeah. Just last thing on boxing, guys. If you are a boxing fan, obviously the big fight, Canelo versus Gigi, that is the one. Make sure you watch that, guys, if you're boxing fans. I think that's it, really, mate, in terms of news. I can't think, or I haven't really seen anything else in terms of news. Obviously, the Carvalho deal sort of on and off. But yeah, apart from that, it's been quite quiet, actually, isn't it? There's a few questions. I'm going to leave the ones out that were for Dave, so... there's not as many as last week, but I will save the questions for Dave for when he comes on. 10 million NetSpend says, do you think the board are also at fault for our failings? I also don't think spending 10 million net is acceptable after the last 2 transfer windows we've had. We've been playing catch up with the board's failings to build on the Payet season.
See, this really winds me up, actually. I keep seeing people talking about this. Oh, we've only spent £10 million net. So what? What has NetSpend got to do with the quality of the players we've bought in? It makes no sense.
No, I keep seeing as well people jump on the Everton one. Like, you know what I'm like with Everton as well. Like, oh yeah, Everton has spent blah 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 blah. Yeah, they got 75 million for Lukaku.
I know.
I don't know whether they're doing their maths with it.
And it's just like, how many players do you want us to buy? What? Like last season, we had so many players came in, didn't work out, you know, and a lot of people were saying last season, we bought in too many players. We bought in too many players when we should have just bought a couple of really good players. Well, to me, that feels like that's what we've done this summer. What if Zabaleta weren't on a free and we paid 8 mil for him? What would that make him a better player? Do you know what I mean? If Joe Hart wasn't on loan and we paid 10 mil for him, would that make it better? I don't understand. I don't get the whole hype around this NetSpend, this nonsense.
No, but as well, like in terms of the spending, like you say, mate, it's like you go 20 million IU. So far at West Ham, he's not been good, has he?
He's not been terrible, but he's not been as good as I think we would have hoped.
And then you look at 12 million Snodgrass.
Well, that was,
and he's on Aston Villa.
Yeah, that was poor, and as well. Like, how much is Hernandez worth? We paid 16 million for him. Realistically, how much is Hernandez worth? How much would you think he would be sold for now? What, 25 million? 30 million?
If he was at an English club and we was buying him from another English club, we probably would have had to pay about 35 million, I reckon.
There you go. So would that make everyone feel better then? If he had cost £35 million? Because our net figure would have looked better. Would that make everyone feel better? I don't get the whole hype about net spend. It makes no sense to me at all.
No. Let us know, guys, what your opinions are. Stephen, I can't pronounce your last name, mate, so I'm just going to say Stephen. Have the board given Bilic a few more games so they can have time to interview replacements or find money to poach someone else? It's a good question.
It's possible. It's possible. I think they're not stupid. I think they're probably, since the season started, they've had other people in mind. Whether they'll now start talking, whether they'll now start talking, possibly, yeah.
James Edrup, Bilic, stick or twist?
I think we've already answered that, yeah.
It's time to twist, mate.
And as well, I want to say as well, I know we've been really, really anti-Slav on this show so far today, but I still love Bilic. I really do. He's a great.
Oh mate, yeah.
He's a great man. You know, he's been great. Like, I've loved seeing him at the club, and I wish he could turn it around, but I just don't think he can. I'd love him to.
And I think, like, on the Slav defence as well, mate. Yeah, he is hurt. The geezer looks like a broken man. Like, he feels it. He does feel it. But yeah. Someone famous, mate, actually says something about, like, yeah, it doesn't matter how popular you are, how nice guy, gentleman you are. It doesn't make you a good manager, and it's not going to take us to that next level. And I think it has got to that point where it's like, I love you, Slav, but it's time to go. It's like I don't know, like a bad girlfriend or something like that. Like, girlfriend who cooks every meal for you, does everything for you, but you don't want to marry him.
But it's like it's exactly the same thing as the point that you make about Noble as well, mate. Everyone loves Mark Noble, West Ham through and through. But just because he's West Ham through and through and he gets the club and everyone likes him, that don't mean that he should be starting every week. Same as
again, with my Mark Noble hate, mate, I'm going to sit here and say it. It's not because I hate the bloke. Yes, I appreciate he's a real passionate guy, knows everything about West Ham. He's a fan on the pitch, but people can't sit here and say he's got ability. I think that's what I don't like. It's like, don't be deluded by it. That it doesn't make him a sensational player because he's got this passion and because he's got this energy. And all this stuff about, he stayed when we went down. Yeah, he did. But does that not show signs that no one did actually come in? To my knowledge. I think maybe Newcastle, or Fulham sniffed around, but they didn't. There was no firm offer, from my knowledge, on the table. And that says a lot. Yeah. Stephen again. Has any manager been in Bilic's position and turned it around? Is it even possible?
I don't think so. It's, well, like I say, Bilic has been in this position, 3 times already since he's been manager of West Ham, and he manages to pull out a win or something, and then a couple of draws, so we say, all right, he's turning the corner, and then we lose 5-6 games in a row again, and it's a pattern that just seems to be repeating itself. No, I can't. Not at this stage. Like I say, when you look at the stats, that's the thing. It's not 3 games. It goes way back. You know, like you say, 70 odd goals conceded in 40 odd games. Shocking.
Yeah, I think once the mentality goes, and I'm looking at big teams like Chelsea as well. When Jose was there that last year with the physio thing and the thing with Hazard, it's cracked up. But like, Chelsea are a bit stuttery at the moment because of the Diego Costa thing. And Conte is a fantastic manager. But once there's that little chink in the armour, sometimes there is no way back. Yeah. Paul, this was a really good question. I really did. I kept this one on purpose. Do you feel football and social media has gone beyond good, fun and interesting and is now heading towards poisonous atmosphere? So this is the Slav. The reason he tweeted me that is because I put out, I've had enough of Slav now, time to go. And then he was saying that Twitter and stuff create this real energy of hate where you didn't used to have that. Obviously, it would be in the stadium, but not so out.
I think that's the only real difference. You know, the people still would have been whinging and moaning just as they are. It's just now they've got a platform for millions of people to see it online. Whereas before, the discontent still would have been the same. But like you say, it would have been in the stands. There would have been people moaning in the stands, people moaning.
I think it's good that the club can see it.
Mm.
You know, like, I can go on Twitter and go to Jack Sullivan and David Gold. Do you know what? I don't like Slav at the minute.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not. Yeah.
It can, don't get me wrong, it can then, you do get the danger of the sort of the vocal minority sort of thing, where there's a lot, like a few people shouting very loud on social media, when in reality there's actually loads and loads and loads of people that are happy. That can be a bit dangerous.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just, I understand what you're saying. Football in general, not even forget about social media, just the whole, everything with Sky and TV and the money and everything now. Football ain't what it was like 10, 15 years ago. It ain't. It's the game's changed. And that's just the way it is now.
Yeah. A couple of sort of random questions really come from the podcast last week, some of the comments. It says, do any of you guys follow NFL? If so, who is your team? I follow the Cleveland Browns. NFL. Can't say I do. I do coach it at school. We've got an NFL guy that comes in, and I've started coaching it with the kids in my primary school. But can't say I've got a team as such. Miami Dolphins, I don't know.
I don't watch it at all.
I'm more of an NBA guy, I'll be honest.
Yeah, same.
I really do follow NBA. I like NBA.
Same. Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, no, NFL, not really my thing. Same, I don't really like rugby over here. But yeah, basketball, love basketball, NBA. I'm a Knicks guy.
Yeah. I'm a glory hunter, mate. I'll go Golden State, mate, for Steph.
Of course, yeah.
Last season it was Cavaliers. So. No, I do love LeBron. I think there's a couple more. Do you think Chiatti will be dropped into defence if we bring in Cavallo?
Who knows? He'll probably end up playing on the right wing. I mean, I don't know. Can you imagine him playing alongside Carvalho? That would be quite interesting.
Oh, that would be absolute unit, mate. Units together.
I think the good thing is if he came in, it would give us options. Do you know what I mean? It would give us different options. He would probably sit in front of the defence, and then
deep line playmaker.
Yeah, I imagine that you would switch it round. So rather than at the moment where you've got kind of, say, Lanzini just behind the striker, you maybe would flip it and have, say, Lanzini just back a little bit deeper alongside Chiatti, Obiang, Noble, whoever, and then Carvalho just behind them.
I don't think Carvalho will happen now. I don't think Carvalho will happen now, do you?
I actually do. I mean, if they want to sell him, and it seems like he wants to go, he hasn't been playing for him, he hasn't been training with them. He hasn't
Rumours of Monaco sniffing around for him now.
But if he wants to go to the Premier League, we're the only offer on the table.
Oh, okay.
So I could see it going to the last day, but it wouldn't surprise me if it happened.
Nicholas Craven, do you feel that the transfer interest in Sacco is good or bad? Do you want to sell him knowing that no one... What was this? Sorry. Do you want to sell him knowing that we only want to buy one or two signings?
Bye. Yeah, I
know you're a big fan.
Yeah, I want him gone. I don't want him at the club anymore. I think the way he's behaved at West Ham's a disgrace. Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player, but he looks like he can't be bothered most of the time anymore. No, let him go. Get him gone. Yeah. And don't get me wrong.
Good question.
We do need to bring someone else in, but yeah, let him go.
Yeah. Another good question from Kevin Day. Watch the Man City Everton game over here in Thailand. Wonder what your guys' thoughts were on the glass tunnel. Is it more corporate, or did you think it was a good thing? I quite liked it, actually. I thought it was quite cool.
I didn't see that, the glass tunnel.
So basically what it is their corporate people now can pay to be in the tunnel, and it's a two-way glass. So the players can't see them, but you can see the players coming out in the tunnel and stuff, and have all that experience of like that vibe.
All right.
And the players actually have to come through the restaurant as they get to the stadium. So they come through the restaurant, then into the dressing room.
That's quite interesting. Yeah,
I suppose if you've got money.
Yeah. Yes, that's quite interesting.
Enough to do it, no?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I'm just going to very, very quickly check Twitter, mate, to see whether there's any more late questions, as we've got just a little bit of time. No, there is no more. So thank you guys for this week. I hope that Dave is on next week. If not, he will definitely be on at some point, and we've got some really good guests lined up. I'm hoping to get the Rib Man on, hopefully. We're hoping to get Graham Howlett in from Knees Up Mother Brand. It's just all organising it. Like, it just takes a bit of time, guys, to organise these things. I know it just seems like, oh, we just talk on Skype, but no, it takes a bit of time to get the it all together. We will be back next week. Obviously, it's an international break, but obviously, hopefully, we'll have loads of transfers to discuss and things like that. And obviously, preview the Huddersfield game. But until then, guys, it's goodbye from me and Paul. Thanks again. We have hit 2,000 subscribers since the last podcast. And if you stay tuned, guys, after the credits, there's a little tease where we will reveal the winner of the DVD. If it is you, please get in touch on Twitter or leave a comment on the video to give us your address, and I will send it out as soon as you get in contact with me, guys. So stay tuned to after the credits. It's going to be in there. I hope you enjoy it. Until then, keep believing. Come on, your irons. Let's go.
Cheers.
Hello, Len here, and the winner of the Free Hammers 2K competition is Len from Canning Town. Oh no, it's not. It's Louis Russo Brownlee at Louis_West Ham. Well done, Louis.